As moms, we often wonder, am I doing enough for my kids? I'm here to tell you, you are super mama. That's because we have an undeniable superpower, our intuition, and it never steers us wrong. I call it our mom sense. Hi, I'm Kanika Chedda Gupta, and I'm the host of That's Total Mom Sense. I'm a journalist, entrepreneur, wife, and mom of 3, twins plus 1. Now, if I had $1 every time I heard, gee, you have your hands full. On my podcast, I interview influential moms from various industries and cover topics that all first-time parents grapple with, from getting your baby to sleep to screen time allowance, your new normal in your marriage, and how to dedicate time to yourself. Learn and laugh along with That's Total Mom Sense. We wear so many hats in our lives, or shall I say outfits. We're mothers, entrepreneurs, stay-at-home moms, working moms, and now the trend has become to embrace these roles while we look and feel our best. Today, I have 2 of my friends and stylists with me, Jasmine Snow and Liz Teich. Jasmine Snow is a fashion and accessories editor, creative consultant, and on-air style expert in New York City. She has over 10 years of experience in the fashion market, editorial development, and curating exclusive content for major fashion brands. She's built the foundation of her career as a senior fashion editor at 17 Magazine, which reaches 12 million readers in the U.S. and appears in 10 different countries worldwide. She develops strong relationships with some of the industry's leading stylists, photographers, and creative directors, as well as discovering the new generation of design stars. Jasmine creates and conceptualizes co-branded editorial partnerships with celebrities, fashion tastemakers, and global brands such as ShopBop, ShoeDazzle, Bauble Bar, Kendall Kylie, and has also consulted on editorial projects for leading print and digital brands such as Glamour Magazine, People, People's Style Watch, Elle, InStyle, Barney's New York, and Tommy Hilfiger. Jasmine is known for her insider advice and extensive knowledge in fashion, styling, and pop culture. Her expertise on millennials, along with her approachable sense of fashion, has led her to become a style expert, appearing regularly on E! News, Extra, MTV, 17 Magazine's YouTube channel, Good Morning America, and as a judge on Lifetime's Project Runway, Threads. Liz Teich is a New York-based fashion stylist, lifestyle blogger, and mom to her toddler son with a baby on the way. Her blog, The New York Stylist, covers affordable wardrobe ideas, advice on motherhood, fitness, home decor trends, and a behind-the-scenes look at the fashion industry. Liz has been a professional stylist for over a decade. She works on print and digital advertising campaigns for major brands including Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Target, Netflix, and Alex and Ani. She has appeared on camera as a style expert for Rent the Runway and White House Black Market, as well as a recurring fashion and lifestyle expert on Good Day New York. Other press include Glamour, InStyle, Women's Health, and Huffington Post. Okay, so I've had the pleasure of working with these 2 phenomenal women. I was on Jasmine's holiday segment for the Today Show, Liz's hottest holiday trends on Fox 5's Good Day New York. And it was so much fun to see you guys at work and see how your minds work and how you actually can dress someone for their body type, for their personality, just really bring out that level of fashion in someone who might not get there. And you did that for me, and I'm so thankful, and I'm so excited to have you on my show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're also grateful that you were one of our models because you were really awesome and you really helped make the segment.
Oh, thank you.
Agreed.
I mean,
That's so
I'm speaking
sweet.
for myself,
No,
but
yeah.
I Jasmine.
No, I was so thankful. So thankful. I wanted her for my next segment, but she wasn't available.
Yeah, I love it. You know what? The segment that we did, it was actually promoted on Gap Inc.'s corporate site.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it got, I don't know how many
I love
million
that you
views.
found that.
Yeah. No, because my friend is, she's the director of licensing at Gap.
Okay.
And she was like, your Today Show screenshot is in our elevator and in our corporate email and everything.
No
Yeah, I'll
way.
send it to you.
Oh, I guess because of
The Banana Republic, yes,
Got
yeah,
it. Oh,
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so brands are catching on. They're watching these
You
segments
were
too.
Banana Republic in our segment.
Yeah, I know. It's true. It's
You're
true.
going to be their new model.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna call
Hi,
from Banana
Marissa.
Person. Pay Kanika
Exactly.
for...
Pay us all.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, tell us about your careers in fashion because they're so different, and you both are styling now. And so, how did you get here?
Yeah, I can start first. So Liz and I have talked actually about just how different our careers are, which is so crazy and also so common in this industry. I started out, I graduated high school and came straight to New York City and went to FIT and thought that I was going to be a fashion photographer. Quickly realized I was not a fashion photographer. Like I would essentially, quote unquote, like copying homework from other people of like, can you light my set for me? And then like, meanwhile, I had spent weeks like prepping the wardrobe and booking models. And like that just thrilled me so much more. And then when it came time to like be on set and actually like light my set and, you know, I loved taking the shot and like, you know, thinking of the concept and all that stuff, but actually being the photographer and like setting up the shoot was just not my jam. So I started to figure out like, wow, I think I want to be a stylist. I had always loved fashion, but just didn't really know like where I fit into it. I think when you're younger, and now is different, people have access, but I'm sure you can speak to this too, Liz, is that like, oh yeah, you can be a fashion designer, but I didn't want to be a designer. Like that's not where my talents lied. Like I was really always great at putting things together, but like could never envision like a garment out of thin air,
right.
You know? So yeah, so I like got on that path and then did plenty of internships as we all do after college and was really lucky to be in the right place at the right time at 17 when they were looking for a fashion assistant. So I started there and it was really like a family for me and it was like probably the best schooling I could have ever had as far as, you know, learning so much. I just felt like from the ground up, I learned everything. It's like being like working in a restaurant. Like I was like the busboy, I was the waitress, I was the cook. I was like, I just learned everything about it because I was sort of the all guy. And at the time I was like, oh my gosh, where's this going? But even as I became an editor there and then I was senior editor there and all throughout that timing of 8 years, I still was always like putting on a million hats and like learning a million different things and didn't really know where it was going to take me, but knew that it was going to be like really valuable information. And it was. Once I left there and started freelancing, it was really good for me to have all of that information. I had closet experience, I had PR contacts, and so I started styling freelance after I left there, sort of just figuring out where I belonged in the fashion industry. I always knew that I wasn't high fashion. I'm still not. I love beautiful things. I love, you know, shopping for beautiful things, but I'll be completely honest, like I don't love watching a runway show. To be completely honest, it's a little boring, you know, like, but I love walking at a red carpet and seeing what people are wearing. I love street style. It just, you know, there's certain things that excite different people in the fashion industry, and that's why there's so many different areas. And so I quickly found out that the things I was doing at 17 as far as like TV wise was what I was really loving, and started to focus a lot of my energy on that and doing TV segments and styling those segments. It felt the closest like putting together a page for me. It was like concepting what it was going to be, booking the models, calling in the product, and it felt the closest to what I had been doing at the magazine that I loved. And also I love being on air, so it was great. I was talking about fashion, and in the meantime needed to kind of carve out my own identity for myself outside of, you know, being at a magazine and having that name behind me. So I started a blog at a time when I was like, I am not a blogger. I am the anti-blogger. Like they're the anti-editor. Like it was so separate. And I also was like, I'm not a writer. But then I just started it. And it really wasn't until after I had my first child, my daughter, that I felt like the creative energy to start it. Because I didn't know what to talk about before. Like sometimes it's really difficult to put yourself out there and be like, I'm going to talk about trends and like, this is what looks great on me or whatever it might be. I just didn't know what my point of view was. And once I had her, I felt like I had a point of view. And something that like I didn't feel self-conscious about, whatever it was like being a mom and how I dressed her and all the stuff that went with it. I was not insecure about it at all. So it was the easiest like first step for me to put myself out there. And then from there, I sort of like backed into like, okay, I'll talk about adult stuff now. So, I mean, I've been so busy that like I actually have not given my blog enough love recently after having my second child. But that's sort of like, it kind of helped catapult me into like building sort of a brand for myself and putting myself out there. Liz, on the other hand, is like a genius when it comes to like her content and blogging and all of that stuff. stuff. I'm like so in all of it.
It's been a long road.
I don't know how you have the time. She like posts stuff and I'm like, well, how did she do this? Oh my God.
I don't sleep. I think that's part of the problem.
There's no way you do.
But it's funny. We do have a very similar where we ended up, but our backgrounds are completely opposite.
Completely different. Yeah, you had to tell yours. I mean, that's basically my story. That's the end. But yours is very, very interesting. I was so surprised when you were telling me.
Oh,
fashion was something that I was kind of like born into. My sister is also a stylist, so I've always, like since the 90s, always knew what a stylist was before Rachel Zoe was a thing and people knew what stylists were. So it was something that was always in the back of my mind, but I was stubborn and I was like, I don't want to be like my sister. So I wanted to find my own path. So when I was in high school, I actually studied fashion in high school and I took 3 years of fashion design. And then I went to RISD for a summer for a pre-college program, studied fashion design there. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to be a fashion designer. And just like Jasmine said, it's like, that's the only option. Like that's all you know.
Right.
But I knew I didn't want to be the one constructing the garments. I interned in a fashion company in every department in the company. And I saw the pattern making. I saw every department. And I said, I don't love the construction is just so tedious. I want to be hands-on and once the garment's made, that was the fun part for me. But I ended up studying, oddly enough, advertising because just like you said, fashion was kind of like, you don't need a degree to be in fashion. Let's be honest. Like there are a lot of people that are really talented and they don't have a degree. So I was like, I should really get a degree that will kind of give me a business.
Leg up, yeah.
Yeah, leg up. And I was like,
my parents would have loved if I did that. Well, I was like, no, I'm going to be a stylist. And they were like, what is that? And I'm like, Rachel Zoe? And they're like, no. It was before she had a show.
Oh, yeah.
It was before any of that. No one knew who she was.
Well, I wanted to be.
And she was the only reference.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The only reference.
Well, I was really lucky that at least when I did tell my dad I wanted to be a fashion stylist, I had a sibling who was doing it already. So it was a little bit more understanding. But when I told my dad I wanted to be a painter, he kind of laughed at me and he said, choose a real major. So that's where I got into advertising. And I became an art director after college. And I was an art director for Saatchi & Saatchi and then a small boutique agency where I was coming up with the concepts and layouts for Maybelline. And that's where I kind of got my back end foray into styling, even though actually I had assisted my sister just for fun on the side when I was in college. So when I was on the Maybelline account, I was coming up with the ads. And my favorite part was being on the shoots. Back then there was style.com. And I would go on style.com, pick out the looks from all the runway shows, and I'd say, this is what I want. And I'd brief the stylist. And they never came back with exactly what I wanted. And I was like, you know what? I could do this. It was something that I just knew I had been kind of pushing it off and I didn't want to be following exactly the footsteps of my sister. So that's why I hadn't done it. I love that fashion styling kind of melds all those worlds together. Yeah. So I found it in more of an advertising than editorial kind of background. And now I find myself on more of those advertising shoots. And that's more of, rather than editorial, I'm doing advertising. I work with brands a lot. So it kind of gave me the background and the business sense, which was really important. So I'm glad I went through that whole roundabout way of getting to where I am. And then from there, I was styling. I think we were talking about this before. I was styling a bunch of bloggers for the Maxxinista campaign for TJ Maxx. That was when, I didn't even know what a blog was. I was like, what's a blogger?
Yeah. Blogger, influencer.
Who am I styling?
Yeah.
So when I did that, I was like, what do they have to say that I don't have to say? I have all this background and years of experience, and here they are getting paid to be in this campaign just because they're really good at blogging and they have a great eye, but I have a lot of experience.
Yes.
And I have a lot of knowledge that I need to share.
Right.
And then from there, I was like, I got to start a blog.
Yeah.
And back then it was what is a blog? So I didn't really make it a business, but it was more of a hobby. And then it just kind of took off and I was connecting with brands, and 9 years later, here I am. It's part of my business. And then my business kept evolving once having a baby, and I'm still doing styling for photo shoots. I'm still doing my blog. But then once I started doing the blog, people were contacting me and saying, how do I dress for my new life as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot tell you how many people have contacted me about that. And I was like, I got to make this a business. So that's when I started my closet cleansing business. And I do seasonal styling packages for moms around New York. And now I even do virtual styling sessions. So people from all over the country contact me, and we do it through Skype. And I can really revamp a mom's wardrobe, which is actually my favorite part of what I'm doing in my job. So I love that. And then most recently, just like Jasmine does, I've been doing on-air appearances, and that's been really fun. So yeah, we kind of like do the same thing, but in a roundabout way.
Yeah, in a roundabout way, but also is like so different. It's crazy.
And I feel like you have very different aesthetics, and because you bring different experience and skill sets to the table, it's very apparent, and it's really refreshing to see how both of you guys work and think.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are lucky to be in the fashion capital. We're in New York. When did New York become part of your story?
New York was always a part of my story. It's something that I talk about a lot, mostly just with my family and friends, but I grew up not far from here in New Jersey, so I was here a lot. I come from a family of dancers, so we were constantly coming to shows, and a lot of my family, they were former Rockettes, and so there's just like a lot of that history that runs through my family. And so I would come here a lot as a kid, and like I just knew when I can't pinpoint like an age, but when I was a kid, I just knew that I needed to be here. I didn't really know why or what I would do.
I had the same exact thing. I remember looking at all the tall buildings while we were driving through the city. I grew up an hour outside the city too, and I just looking at all the tall buildings, and I was like, I'm going to live here one day. And I don't know why either.
Yeah.
But I just knew, and I just said, there's something in the city that invigorates you. I had such a great art program. I went to public school, but we had a lot of great art program classes that I would get field trips to come to the city. Yeah. My fashion class, we would go to FIT, we go to the museum, and we go tour the school. And it was just so cool. I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It was just like, I didn't, and even as I got older, and like I would come in, and it was the same thing. Like I would be like, I just cannot wait to live here. And my mom was like, you're 7, like you're not even mind. Like it's just gonna be so great when I live here. And then, I was like planning to go to FIT, and I did not apply to any other school. And I remember having like screaming fights with my parents, and my dad being like, first of all, you're not going to New York. Second of all, what if you don't get into that school? You have to apply to other schools. And I was like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. And he was like, what do you mean you'll figure it out? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll go to like a community school there, and then I'll just figure it out from there. Like I never had this vision of like, I have to be at FIT or I have to be at such and such a school. I just had this vision of like, just get me to New York and then I'll figure it out. I have to be there.
Well, it's also like, New York's like the hub of fashion.
Yeah, like I was like, that is the center of what's happening.
When I was growing up, like I was like the cool kid in school because I would come back from New York City with a Kate Spade bag from Canal Street.
Yeah. Or H&M, when H&M was not cool.
Or Urban Outfitters.
Or not cool, but not known.
Nobody knew of Urban Outfitters, and I'd go to Urban Outfitters, and I think I was so cool because I had all this unique stuff that was not that unique.
Totally.
But like even, for my prom dress, I worked with a designer I designed my own prom dress, and I worked with a seamstress, and she sourced all the fabric in New York City, and I was like, that is so cool. And
I got my prom dress for my senior year. I got at Pat Field.
Did you really?
Yes. Like I was so obsessed. I was so obsessed with Sex and the City. I was so obsessed with New York, and I was so obsessed with like doing something that was so unique to me and so unique to, a New York designer or a stylist. It wasn't even just fashion for me either. I just felt like it was the center of everything. Yeah. Everything was here, and all of the energy was here. Like I had this sense of like FOMO, even though I knew no one here, but that I was missing out on something and I needed to be there.
And there was never another option.
No, there was never another option.
It was just Anne Q, the Alicia Keys, and Jay-Z.
Oh my God.
Now.
Yeah, if that was around when I was like in high school.
Oh my
God.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you guys touched upon this in your careers, but what are some of the milestone projects that you've worked on?
When I was at the magazine, it was really when I started to, get the opportunity that I was able to start assisting on set. So, they knew that I wanted to be a stylist. They were giving me more responsibility as an assistant. So like my more responsibility and my promotion, so to speak, was that I was going to be allowed to go on set and assist on set. And like that was going to be my thing. And I was on every single cover shoot. And, being at that age and like, these are my peeps. like, these are my celebs, you know, like I was young and I was like in love with these girls that we were shooting. So it was such a cool experience. But the one that always sticks out to me, there's two. There was one, the obvious one was Beyonce. And it was like the best shoot I've ever been on. Not even necessarily because of her, because we didn't even speak. Like we did not even talk.
Really?
Yeah, because she was just, all I was doing was unpacking trunks all day. And then by the end of the day, they were like, okay, you can stop unpacking, just start repacking, because we had so many trunks. So I never stopped unpacking the trunks the whole day. And she was like right next to me, like in the wardrobe, but she has a team of so many people. And there's just so many people around her, and she's such a machine.
Side note, I touched Beyonce once.
Oh my God, I did not get
And
that close.
I asked her what she was wearing, and the bodyguard pushed me to the ground.
Oh, shit. No.
But she was wearing Roberto Cavalli. I did get that.
But I can picture that there's this like army, and it's like there's like this wall, like
there's not a
Queen
wall,
Bee,
but there is an army.
And she's like a real person. Like she
yeah.
didn't have people like surrounding her.
No, but
when
she
I met her,
has an army of people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a team of her. It's the reality of it.
Right.
But the thing that was so amazing about that moment in my career was that because I didn't know what to expect. Like, I was expecting this massive diva. I knew she was going to come with a team. I knew it was going to be a big day, but I didn't know if she was going to be amazing or horrible.
You never know.
Right.
You never know. And she was absolutely amazing. And again, I didn't speak to her, but she was perfectly lovely on set. She was like a machine. She was in and out of clothes. Like, she was like, get changed, no questions asked, on set, pose, back change. Like, there was no hemming and hawing or anything. Like, she's a true professional. She knows her angles. She knows her poses. And it was like, we got the day done, and she was out of there. And it was so inspiring.
Yeah.
I had actually one of my career highlights was one of my first like major shoots I did was for Discovery Channel. I did, Mike Tyson had a TV show.
Okay.
And I styled him for it, for all of his ad campaign for it. He showed up like an hour late, and then I guess he was filming The Hangover 2.
Okay.
So he came in just from that airplane, and like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You're tired after flying, but he went right into the wardrobe room and locked the door and slept for like a half hour or an hour. And like, we were just like, okay. And I had the complete opposite experience where, I mean, he was lovely. He was really nice to work with. And, you know, he was very intimidating because he's Mike Tyson. And he looked at me and he goes, so where are you from? And like, really sweet, but he was, it was not the same like in and out kind of experience. Yeah. But then eventually when he did leave, he just walked off with all the clothes, and I was like, what do I do? But so I guess that was one of my highlights. I think because I love my nieces and nephews, when I worked with the cast of Stranger Things, that was like, I'm like the cool aunt now. Yeah. So that was a highlight.
Very cool.
And then I will say, just like when I was an assistant, like you said, when I was an assistant and I was working on these major ad campaigns, I had one stylist that was my mentor. She let me take over when she couldn't do a day or two, and it catapulted my career. Like I took over and styled for that client for a while, and that was like that was for TJ Maxx, and that led me to the Maxinista campaign, and it was like that really catapulted my career, I'd say, and like changed my life because now I'm blogging too.
Exactly. Yeah. That's so cool. One thing about both of you is that you both are so resourceful and scrappy. You just get shit done. And I think that that's definitely the need when you're in fashion. As much as people on the outside think it's so glam, there's a lot of unglamorous stuff to it, you know?
Majority is unglamorous.
Yeah.
And I like posting that on my Instagram all the time because I get so many inquiries, people that want to assist me and thinking it's such a glamorous job. I have people show up in heels and I'm like, oh no, we're wearing sneakers and we're getting down and dirty. It's like, people don't know.
Steaming and packing and So tell us about styling for on air, because you guys are doing that now.
Well, I'll start with the negative first in that, because there's not that much. And the negative really, and what we were just discussing, is that like at this point in time, I work for myself now. And so I don't have a big magazine budget. I don't have an assistant. You know, I mean, we would get shoots done and then I would just tell our closet assistants like, okay, great, all is done. So I just need you to pack that and send it to the studio. And it would show up at the studio. And then we would have interns at the studio that would unpack it and it would show up on the racks. And like, that's how it worked. Now, granted, yes, I did all the work prior to that, but But at that point, by the time I was done being an assistant, I no longer packed trunks anymore. And like, that was really nice. I packed trunks for a very long time. Now I am back to
You put
packing
in your
trunks.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm packing trunks again. I've come 360 and I'm packing trunks again. I don't hire an assistant for those prep days. And it's a huge misconception that as stylists or as on-air consultants that we get paid for that. And we don't.
Yeah.
We don't get paid for that.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work for
a lot.
very little gratitude.
Yes.
And you know what? It's also, coming from the television field, the budgets don't exist. The ad budgets aren't there anymore. And so because that's dwindled so much, it's so unfortunate how that's panning out. But then they're not paying for
They don't pay me. They don't pay the models.
Segments.
It's all everyone's there because
And we're finding the models.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're literally doing end to end.
Producing too, and it's a lot of work. And we do it all. That's why I've been doing. I've been very fortunate that I've been working with brands that are hiring me as like their on-air expert or as their stylist for like their ad campaigns on air. But that's great because I get paid for those. But when I'm on TV like you, it's like, oh, we're doing all this work and we're not getting paid.
Yeah, it really is a long game. It's definitely, that it's going to pay off in the end, and it's the exposure and it's the experience. And so that is the negative about it. Other than that, it's nothing but positive. I find that working with these producers and everything, like it's a whole different realm of fashion. Not that they're in fashion, but it's just like answering to an editor, and it's like you have someone else that's editing your stuff and saying, okay, well, I like that, but can you find X, Y, and Z? And this looks good, but we need this. And, it's the same exact thing as going through a run through before a shoot. It's the same thing. In all of my experience in freelance up until this point, I think I've been searching for that next thing that would give me that creative satisfaction of putting a page together or putting a shoot together in a magazine. And I had yet to really find it until I started doing on air and really producing the shoots from start to finish. When pitching the idea that I want to do, like pitching a story idea like we would in the magazine, and then actually producing and making it happen, finding the models, calling in the product, styling the looks, and then being the on-air voice to it. And so it all comes together, and it just feels the most like that same satisfaction of like when you open up a magazine and you're like, there it is. Oh my God, it looks so good. Oh my God, wait, look at that. See, those pants worked. I knew they would. Oh my gosh, that shoe. Can you believe that we got it? It's like that feeling. It's that same
It's gratifying.
feeling. It's that gratifying.
Yeah. The production part of it is not my favorite part of it.
Me neither. Not fun.
My favorite part is actually when it all comes together and then getting the feedback of like, oh my God, I can't believe you found all these. I would wear these. Like,
yes, that's the best
when
feeling.
you have like you're dressing real people and you're putting together looks that are relatable, because I work on all these shoots all the time where I'm at the mercy of the brand, or
and you're removed from it.
You're removed from, or I'm trying to make it fit for that brand, but like it's just not a real person. I'm putting on a size 2 model that is aspirational, and I want to show fashion for real people, and that's my favorite part of the business.
Yeah. Well, also that model too, she's hired for the day and she's not wearing that outfit, but when you're doing a segment, like you're putting it on your models, and when there's nothing better than when you like fit your model and they're like, I love this outfit. I want to wear this.
Colin actually bought the shirt that I put her in.
And you know what?
Like,
I'm
so
wearing
exciting.
the Edelman boots that you
are! Yay! See, that's
my
favorite part of it.
Best part. It really is.
I mean, because you, like, for someone who's not in fashion, you tend to just go on autopilot and buy the same stuff.
Yeah.
And so you, like, open up our eyes and
so that's
you're just
exactly
like,
why I started my closet cleanse business, because I do find moms, you're in this, like, zone of, okay, this is what's worked for me in the past. I'm just going to keep going to J. Crew, whatever, and keep buying the same thing over and over. And that's why I do these closet cleanses, because we can go through and then I make a personal shopping list, very personalized, so that way when you are going shopping in the future, it's what you actually need, and rather going like aimlessly through a closet.
Right, exactly. Well, so coming to like motherhood, if you guys can just shed a little light on your motherhood journey.
Okay.
It's fine. I can go first. I actually, I have 6 nieces and nephews. So I was a little prepared because I have that experience of like all these kids that I knew exactly how hard it was for my sisters, and I saw really what it was like, and not just like, oh, you have a cute baby. But I guess I wasn't prepared that like the time issue. Like I think before I had kids, I thought I was busy, and I don't know how I fit it all into a day now. And it's amazing how much time, like you want it. Time is the most commodity, like it's the biggest commodity in my life right now. Like I value time over anything else. And if I can spend time with my family, I would rather do that than make $1 million.
Yeah.
So I think that was the biggest shock for me.
Yeah, how you have to like compartmentalize your time.
Totally. I am in a similar situation. I'm the oldest of 18 grandkids.
Wow.
I have a very big family. And so now finally, like our last ones are almost graduating high school. So we're not in the baby phase anymore. But I've always been surrounded by babies and little kids. And it's just always been my life. So for me, when I was pregnant, I was very much like, great, just hand me the baby. Like I'm done with this pregnancy. Like you could give me the baby tomorrow. Like I was very much like, I'm not afraid of it. I'm not scared of it. I'm prepared. I'm ready to go. And I know I'll be fine. I know I'll rock it. It's great. Yeah. And I was, and I had the baby and I was like, had no fear. Like it was a huge fight with my husband to get a baby nurse. And I'm like, I don't need a baby nurse. Like I know what I'm doing. I know how to bathe the baby. He's like, Jasmine, you don't know how to give an infant a bath. I'm like, I promise you I do. And like, it's just, and also even if I didn't, it's like your instincts take over when you have a child and you just do it. So even if I didn't already know what I was doing, it was going to happen anyway. But convincing him of that was like ridiculous. And, so that was all great. I think the most unexpected thing was that there were going to be times that I was not good at it. It's like, and that really hit me pretty hard, more so with the second baby, because the first baby comes in and it's wonderful and lovely, and one baby is not like two. And the second time around, I was like, even more confidence than the first time. So I was like, first time around, I was like, I got this. And then I had the baby and I was like, see, told you I got this. Then the second time around, it was like, yeah, I have this. Oh, wait, it's a different person. They have a different personality. And now I have two and it's a whole different ballgame. And I was really thrown for a loop when I got really flustered and I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle that I was flustered. And I kept being like, wait, hold on. What am I doing wrong? Why can't I get this? Why do I feel like I can't stay above water? And my husband was like, Jasmine, I think that you're taking this really hard because it came so easily to you the first time around. And the second time around is a little bit tougher for obvious reasons. And you're not taking it that well. And I really didn't. Like I didn't take it very well that I wasn't super mom.
This is good to know with baby on the way, because it is hard. I actually felt the same way with the first baby. And there were days that my husband would come home and I'd be like in tears. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. He's been crying all day. He's just been fussy. And it's like, that was a shock that like, I'm not as good as, like it's not completely instinctual. Like you learn. It takes time, and you feel like you're going to break them. And the best advice that I think we ever got. My husband's a teacher, and he had a coworker say there are 16-year-old kids that have babies and they survive. You're going to be okay.
And like going into it the second time around is like, if I would have gone into it with the same, well, I guess not the same mindset because I went into it very confidently, but I think in general, if you go into it with the same mindset as the first one, I think you're better off, because if you go into it thinking like, I got this, I already had one, you're full, because it's not the same. It's like, because even if this child was a complete carbon copy of your first, which they're not going to be, even if they were, it's still two, not one. So just that in itself is a different experience, and you have to completely adjust your life and learn all new things now and learn a whole new adjustment. And I just was not prepared for that. Like I didn't think about that at all. I just kind of thought that this second baby was going to come in and pop into our life and like just kind of go along with our routine. We already have our routine. It's set. This is what you need to do. So like fall in line, as opposed to like, oh wait, you're a totally different human being and you don't like the same things as your sister, and you don't, all of those things. And like, it's just a whole new adjustment, and you make it through, just like you're saying, like you learn, you figure it out. But I didn't allow myself like that capacity. Like I didn't allow myself to even have that flaw really. And that was the biggest like shock to me. I was like totally unexpected. Like, oh my God, I'm not going to be perfect at this.
Oh, but you are. I mean, it just, we have to, embrace the uncertainties and the imperfections that come along with it. And I feel like we're all boss mamas in our own right, the way that we're,
and that everyone is in the same boat, truly. Like, it's very cliche, but really everyone is just trying to make it work every day. Everyone's figuring it out, and everyone's trying to.
And I feel like as a mom, you learn something new every day. Like, just when I think I have this all together,
you don't.
Something else comes up, and I'm like, oh my God, I really thought I knew it all.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone's like, everyone's just like, you look at other people and think like, God, well, how does she have it all together? What am I doing wrong? And it's like, she doesn't.
She doesn't.
Nobody
just
does.
Like you said to me, like, how are you doing it all? And I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, like, how are you juggling all the things you're doing? And I don't. Yeah. Something always has to give, and that's really the reality of it.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And we have to, like, forgive ourselves and just embrace all of it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Do you guys remember how on Oprah and on Ricki Lake there were the makeover segments? I feel like before I became a mom, I just thought that we were, as mothers, stereotyped to be frumpy and, just frazzled and
sad.
just not put together. Yeah, it's just, but that's the opposite in this day and age. And it's like so refreshing to see that we're very put together. How do you style moms now? Because we are giving ourselves that allowance to like look great and feel great.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you said. I styled actually makeovers for Ambush Makeover, and also when Katie Kirk had a show. Mm-hmm. And like moms are always like, they're frazzled.
And we have our moments. I mean, we live in yoga wear.
But really, in reality, I think when I style a mom, I want them to feel good, and I want them to feel like they did before, but feel like they're right for their new life and their new body. So that's really my focus when I style a mom. And I think that's why I started that whole Mamaform hashtag on my Instagram, because we don't have to look like moms. We can just look put together, effortless, chic, but right for the job, I guess you could say.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I don't style moms specifically like Liz does, but I mean, a lot of my models are moms. Most of my models are moms, actually. I don't really style them any different than I would style anyone else. Like, I always try to be age appropriate, but other than that, like, I don't style them any differently than I would style any other thing. I just look at the shoot as like, this is the concept, this is the cutest stuff, and this is who's going to wear it. And I don't really think like, oh, but she's a mom, so she probably shouldn't wear that. Or, oh, she's a mom, so exactly. I should dress her like this. Like, it doesn't really, I don't know, there's really no thought of that goes into it at all. And I think, just to Liz's point, is like, it should really just be what makes you feel like you can take on the day. Because anyone, should feel that way. But like, as a mom, it's like, there is a lot in your day and you have a lot to take on. So you want to feel good in the morning, like you can take on the day. And if that means yoga pants, then that's great. Mm-hmm. And if that means a dress and heels, then that's great too. But I just, it should be what makes you feel great. And there are some days where, like, if I have a pair of like really amazing high-waisted Lululemon pants on that are like sucking me in all the right places, and like a cute sneaker and like a great sweatshirt, and I'm super comfortable, but I feel like skinny and I'm like running around because I'm comfortable and everything. Like, sometimes I feel amazing in that outfit, way more than I do in like
a cocktail dress. Yeah,
like a Saint Laurent booty and like a skirt. Like, who knows? But that sometimes makes me feel just as like powerful as another outfit. And I know that some people are very anti-athleisure trend, and I understand, like, people being like, it's whatever, sloppy. I don't know why people hate it. They have their own reasons. But I think that it's just like, no matter what the trend and what people are into, it's like, if that's what makes you feel good when you step out of the house, if that's what gives you the confidence, then like, go for it.
And I really think confidence is the best style.
Totally.
Because if you don't have the confidence, like, you could put on the most gorgeous garment, and if you don't feel good in it, and if you don't have the confidence, like, I see it right away in my clients. And I'm like, that's a great garment. You don't feel great in it.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing it.
So, Jazz, you touched on this a little bit. I feel like there are certain outfits that are appropriate for certain events, and I love that you would style a woman for this, regardless of whether she's a mom or anything else, what would you style a woman, mom, what have you, in for a date night?
Oh, I'm all about a skinny jean. Skinny jean, your butt's got to look good.
Yeah.
Skinny jean and a heel.
Okay.
Guys don't care about, like, first of all, what designer you have on, and they don't care about, like, a trend that you have on. They honestly want to see you in, like, a great pair of, like, pants and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And like
literally.
we said,
So true.
like we said, it's really the confidence thing. If you feel good in it, your husband, partner, whoever is going to make you feel good, and they're going to notice that you feel good.
Yeah.
So it's really like, I guess what I styled you in for that segment was like, it was just a sweater and a great pair of pants, but the way that you carried yourself and the way you like felt in it and you felt confident, like that would be a date night outfit.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And what about client meeting?
Client meeting.
I think it really depends on the business that they're in.
True.
I actually had a personal styling client yesterday, and we did looks for she has speaking engagements, she has teaching events and different things. We just kind of style things based on all of what she does, but she's a little bit more casual than somebody who goes to an office.
Okay.
So I would say for her, I was styling her in, she looked great and felt her best in black pants.
Okay.
And so I think that was something that you could just see the confidence in.
Yeah.
So I think that was really great. But then I might find somebody else who I'll put a dress in. And,
Right.
So really I think it depends on the person.
Like a shift dress or A-line or...
Whatever flatters the person and they feel great in. Because really, it's not about what I like. It's about what they feel good in.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about you?
I mean, I would probably echo that. I don't want to give like the same answer over and over and again, but if you're going into a client meeting, I mean, you want to feel powerful. You want to feel like you own the room, but if anything else, if not that, at least own yourself.
Yeah.
And your own confidence.
Yeah.
So, I think it's going to be about like what you feel comfortable in. So if you're a pants person, like I would say go for a power pant. Like I always love like either a nice like wide leg pant. There's something that's going to make you look tall and powerful, and you want to feel like really tall and great with a great pair of shoes and like a power pant. And if you're, a skirt person, like I always love a leather pencil skirt. Like there's just something about it that feels like a little less like 80s power suit, but yet you're still in a long skirt. It's appropriate for work or an office or a meeting, but it's like there's a cool factor to it. And you can pair it with something like,
stuffy.
Yeah, it doesn't feel stuffy.
That's actually what I styled my client in yesterday for her speaking engagement.
What is your personal style?
Oh,
I
go
would
first.
say I get asked this a lot, and I guess I don't know if like people view me as this, but I feel like I would say polished yet effortless and with a little 70s vibe.
Ooh. Yeah, I see the boho.
I've worked on that for a while.
It's like that question and then like, who's your favorite designer question?
Yeah.
Or like
There's
the
so
worst
many.
question.
But I mean,
for a stylist.
Yeah.
I have the worst questions coming up then because I want to know.
No, do
No,
ask.
it's totally fine.
Yeah.
No pressure.
I definitely tend to lean more towards like basics and comfort, but like not in a, schlubby kind of a way.
Can I say what I think? Your
Yeah,
style
go for it.
is?
You answer it.
I feel like your style is very just like cool girl downtown, effortless,
love
chic.
it.
Contemporary.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm
You're
just
a little bit more on the casual side. And
I am.
I love that. Like you rock it.
Yeah, I love like a good jeans and tee. Like it's just who I am and who I always have been. I just find like the various versions of it. I might have like a major designer tee on, or it might be Target, but it's always just like my jam. I mean, I'm an accessories girl at heart.
Yeah.
So that could be why I kind of sort of dress like a blank slate a lot of the time, because I really love accessories. And usually like that's where I kind of like pick it up a notch before I walk out the door.
Yeah.
And then usually it's a blazer actually. Like I just always throw on a blazer.
Gotta have a blazer.
Or a leather jacket. Like those are my
Yes,
two.
and a leather jacket.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the accessories, I love how you just are a master at layering. You did an Instagram video on this with the bracelets.
Yeah, it's something new I've been working on.
Yeah, like tell us about the...
Well, so like I layer stuff all the time and it just comes naturally
I'm
to me.
amazed that you have time, because when I'm getting ready in the morning, I can't think about the layering thing.
I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of like go-tos that, like that I continue to just do over
But I like forget to put on my jewelry in the morning.
Well, there's a lot of times that like that layer of stacked necklaces I've slept in. So,
that's
so like
true.
there's that. I forgot that I had it on. That's usually a lot of the time. But yeah, it's like something that I've always gotten asked questions by like friends of like, well, how do I layer this? Or like, you know, you see someone with like a cool stack of rings on. And even myself, like I'll be checking people out and be like, oh, that's really, like, let me copy that. Like, I don't know the real answers. I just kind of know what my taste and style is, like how I sort of approach it, like my method of madness. But yeah, and I don't know. I just like did that video randomly actually for an Instagram takeover. And I don't even know if it went over well because it was for someone else's Instagram. So I didn't really see the feedback.
I watched it on their feed.
Yeah, I loved it though. Like I had fun doing it. And I was like, I think I want to do more of these. So I had saved the video and then I was like, I'm going to repost it on mine. And then I think I'm going to do more of them. We live in this world right now of like recipes and like you can go on and watch a 1-minute video of how to make like a chocolate souffle. And like, granted, it may or may not turn out, but like there's just something really gratifying about getting to at the end of that video and you just feel like it's very broken down, like step by step.
Right.
And I just wanted to do something very simplified like that of like step by step of like, here's how to get this look and this is how I think you should get it. And that's it. And like call it a day. It's not too hard.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
What are some of the accessory brands that you are loving right now? Because there's so many that we can follow on Instagram that are delicate and dainty. And it's like, which ones do you like best?
I mean, I've always loved Jennifer Fisher and used to work with Jennifer Fisher before she was like the Jennifer Fisher that she is now. And I've always loved her pieces. So that's like a great thing for me. But I was never in a place in my life that I could afford her pieces until like a year ago. I don't have that many of her pieces, but love them because I think that they're like great base layers to always have. They're classic and they're going to, you know, stand the test of time. Bauble Bar is like a major go-to. I mean, they really have everything that's going to be trending. Like they're just going to have it. It's like the Zara, you know, like you know you're going to be able to find something. If it's a trend on the runway, they're going to have it. They're going to have it at an affordable price. They, even if it's not something that's trending, the other pieces that they have, you're like, oh, I really like this. And then you just, you know, it's a great destination. And then as far as like personal and dainty jewelry, again, because as I'm getting older and spending a little bit more money on jewelry now, or asking my husband to for gifts, I always go to My Story Jewelry. She's a friend of mine and now has, you know, really her company has taken off and she and I always work together and kind of like create my own thing. I'm probably her like most annoying client because I'm like, I love this, but can we make it like this? And I'm always like personalizing, but it's great because you really like create your story with her pieces. And it's like, you know, whether it's different stones that represent different things. I love that I have tons of like stacks of her rings that I put on all the time, that each ring sort of represents a different time in my life or a different occasion in my life. And I wear them all different ways and I stack them with super cheap fast fashion rings too. And it all works. So I really like to keep it as a mix, but I would say that those are definitely like the 3 on my rotation right now for sure.
Great.
I think for me, my mom was a jewelry designer. So so I have like that in my blood. I actually had a jewelry line for a while that I was with all the time I had. But I had a jewelry line that I was selling actually at the markets throughout the city. And I got onto celebrities and magazines and it was like very exciting. And so that was like pretty much all I wore for years.
Wow.
Because I had to represent my own brand. And I'm still in the works of relaunching and doing it instead of, because I was actually making all the jewelry myself.
Oh my goodness. Tell us
crazy.
about the aesthetic.
So because my mom was a jeweler, I have a lot of her pieces. I have a lot of heirloom pieces. Actually, this is one that she made, and this is an heirloom. So I just collected so many heirlooms over the years and then love antique shopping. And so I was actually reworking antique pieces, making new jewelry out of it, and creating new life because I love sustainability and fashion. That's something I'm really passionate about.
Yeah.
That was pretty much my career for a while. I was juggling styling and jewelry at the same time, like working 7 days a week and blogging too. Yeah. Blogging at night. So, that's basically all I wore for a while. But then I just got too busy that I had to, unfortunately, put that on the side. Yeah. So I still love that aesthetic. Like Erica Wiener is a great jewelry brand because she has that, you know, vintage aesthetic, and she also repurposes and, you know, recreates things or even sells vintage. So I love that. And she's local. I also love local designer Melissa Joy Manning. My husband buys a lot of stuff from her. I'm obsessed. Like my push present, whereas these like diamond chip earrings from her, they're so cool. Like I love good classic pieces that I can, you know, eventually pass down on my kids because, you know, again, sustainability. I think it's so cool to have pieces that last.
Absolutely. And so with the sustainability trend that has come to be, which is a great one, what are some of the things that you're noticing from the lens of being a fashion expert?
Well, I just love that lately, like the whole renting thing is like a huge trend because that's saving a lot of all the, you know, the fashion is like actually one of the most polluting industries in our world. 85% of textiles textiles that's produced actually ends up in a landfill,
Oh,
which
my
is
goodness.
terrifying.
Yeah.
So anything we can do to make that less.
Mm-hmm.
And renting, I think, has totally changed the game. And I really like that. And especially because we don't all have the money to wear designer clothes, but we do want to look fabulous.
Yeah.
It gives everybody the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I love Rent the Runway is my go-to. I always, like, I'm not buying maternity jeans. I'm wearing Rent the Runway.
Right, right.
It makes it so much easier. And even my husband, he constantly tells me, he's like, you're saving so much money on shopping. He's like, you saved $30,000 because they give you like a little recap at the end of the year.
Yeah,
he's like, you saved $30,000 for us last year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see.
It is something.
So, yeah, I do love that.
the Unlimited. I mean, it just
Yeah.
it's so nice to be able to like switch things out. Feel like you have a refresh in your wardrobe all the time,
And
whenever
try
you
new
want it.
things.
And yeah, exactly. Experiment a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your take?
There's something to be said about all of these like style boxes too. It's like it's getting sent to your house and you have that opportunity to like try it on, see if you like it, and then send it back. And it's so easy to send back as opposed to like going to a store, buying a million things, and then like you getting back to the store and returning the things you didn't want. Chances are pretty slim,
Yeah.
you know? And it's sort of the same thing with like
Well, the
online
scary
shopping
thing, the
too.
online shopping, actually, if you send things back, and I hate to say it because we do this, part of our job is to buy things, return things, but when you send it back, a lot of the times they can't actually put it back into the stores.
Oh.
So it ends up in a landfill,
Yeah.
which is really sad.
That's so sad.
And, you know, so I think just the way that we look at our industry, I mean, this isn't for all stores. I think it's more of the fast fashion stores, but just the way we look at an industry overall, I'm so happy we're having this conversation and that we are progressing and things are changing. And just by us talking about this, we see so many brands lately that are really making the change. One of the brands I really love supporting, even though they are fast fashion, is H&M and Another Stories, because they are making initiatives to recycle. If you bring a garment into their stores, you can actually get 10% off.
Oh, wow.
And they recycle it and they make it into new clothes.
Okay, that's
so
cool.
even though a lot of their clothes aren't sustainable, they're still making initiatives to do things.
Yeah.
About that. And I think the more we demand that as consumers, the more these businesses are going to do things about that.
Right.
And
right.
I think that's going to be the biggest trend going forward.
Yes. Okay, so what are some brands you love, and they can be homegrown or high-end? For
Always the hardest question to ask stylists. There's so many
for
good
the
ones.
following. I feel like homegrown, see, you guys are in the know, right? So then you know about these like budding designers that, you know, those of us in fashion don't know about. So like it's nice to hear those new names. So for apparel, if you came up with like a designer that you're like, this is my like grassroots, like.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I will have to say, because I'm pregnant right now and I'm only looking at like maternity fashion lately, I've been so into two brands that I love supporting and I love everything they're doing. One is Hatch.
Yeah.
I think they're just knocking out of the park. Like everything is spot on, everything down to their branding, everything down to the packaging. It's just exactly like I wish I did that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm so impressed by what they do and I love supporting them. And there's a new brand called Anish, also by a local mom or moms. And I love that they're making clothes that you're not just going to wear during your pregnancy, just like Hatch, that you want to wear through every stage of motherhood.
Okay.
So you're going to wear that dress after you're pregnant.
That's
and
great.
that's what I think, like back to the sustainability thing, like we shouldn't buy clothes, you know, for the first trimester, then the second trimester. You're like buying it all the time. And like I love that these brands are doing things that you're going to want to wear for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then for apparel, do you have a high-end brand that you're like, this is my go-to for that?
Oh God, there's so many I like. I love Ula Johnson. Honestly, everything that she makes, I'm like, I want that. There's an indie brand called Love Sam. I just styled their lookbook and I just was like, I want this. And they like paid me in clothes and I just basically was like, I'll take everything. So yeah, I love what they do. I'm really into Nine Bing because she's just like cool girl. Like I'm wearing her blazer today and I just like feel great in it. So pieces that I feel like I'll wear forever. I think, yeah.
Yeah. And for you, Jazz?
Oh, can I just take all her answers?
Yeah.
Call it a day. It's too overwhelming.
What are you wearing? I love this sweater you're wearing. Tell me.
Well, I don't want to tell you because it's not sustainable.
Oh, no, that's okay.
It is Zara.
Wait. But Zara is actually making initiatives to be more sustainable. So I do say it's okay to support Zara still, as I am a Zara lover.
I am a Zara lover. No, I do love this.
And they also have a mom line now. Like,
I know. Yes,
they have a whole section on their site that it's like mama friendly.
Yeah.
But it's not maternity. It's like clothes that you can
mom-friendly.
wear.
It's like forgiving around the...
Just clothes that you can
midriff
wear
area.
as a mom.
Oh, I love it.
And like, you know, I saw somebody actually the other day in a dress that I was like, what is that dress? And she was like, it's Zara. And I looked at and it was on the mom section.
Yeah.
And
I gotta check this out.
actually wore it as a pregnancy dress. And
Right.
it's great. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Okay, so let's see. Homegrown brands, I feel like, God, I don't work with as many as often anymore as I did when I was in the magazine. So it's just like a constant, like, of trying to find new brands.
Yeah.
And now when I'm doing more TV segments, it's really about, like, what's going to be across the country that's accessible for everyone. So it's a lot of mall brands, to be completely honest, even though people aren't going into a mall. But you know what I mean? It's like a lot of brands that are really, really accessible for people. I always love J. Crew. Like, it's always just a good go-to. And I feel like they really strike the balance of, you know, being trendy but not intimidating.
Yeah.
They're fashion forward and feel like you're getting the trends. But if you don't want to necessarily go in that direction, you don't have to either. And I feel like that's, you know, they really straddle the line very well. I mean, I'm so in love with Redone right now, but so is everyone else. And, you know, they've been doing such amazing jeans for the past, like, I don't even know how many years now. And it's just really nice that they're so popular now because now there's more of them. Because at the time when we were calling them in for the magazine, I remember it being like, oh my gosh, like they were always out of samples or there was like always out of stock because they were really redone. Like they were making these jeans and they were all so unique and it was like so hard to like get one that looked like the other. So I'm glad that they're mass producing now and that everyone can like get a lot of them. I mean, it's just the go-to. Like I'm always looking for the best new jean and I have way too many pairs of jeans. So that's good. I love Maj. I think it's like perfect, like Parisian, feminine, adorable stuff that, you know, I always go after. As far as like high design, I'm like Isabel Marant through and through. It's like I try not to like it because I'm like I have too much of it in my life and I'll go broke. But every time I just go back to that, you know, strong shoulder and ruffly skirt that I'm like, I'm never going to wear that skirt, but I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
So I really love Isabel Marant, like totally through and through. It's like definitely a go-to. Like that, I would say she's like my big designer splurge a lot of the time. I love Ulla Johnson as well. I mean, it's so good. Definitely a
good mom brand too.
Really good mom brand and a good close second, like behind Isabel. Yeah. She has that same aesthetic, which I love.
Totally.
I love ATM for all of my basics. They're just so good as far as like they're so soft.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's expensive, but it lasts. Yeah, like it's a splurge, but it is so good because it's like the softest turtleneck you'll ever put on your body. I wore a ton of it when I was pregnant because they just all fit over my belly and stretched out, but like didn't really stretch out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, so that's another big splurge that I love.
Okay, so what about bags?
Bags.
So I actually sold like most of my designer handbags when I had a kid.
Okay.
So I don't do designer because they just get like everything when a kid gets destroyed.
Yeah.
But I really love everything that Claire Vivier does, or she goes by Claire V. She opened a store in my neighborhood, and I'm like, damn you, it's so dangerous. But everything is just timeless, really beautifully made. Like I have a bag that's in the shape of a circle that is so cool, and I get compliments every time I wear it. I wore it to Fashion Week. There's nothing like it, but I like that it's not heavily branded.
Right. That's
I
great.
agree. I don't like something that's heavily branded. I have a lot of vintage bags, and
Vintage is about.
Yeah, like I have a ton of vintage bags, mostly because it's a more affordable option, and also just like they were cool, and so I have like a lot of like vintage Chanel and Dior and that kind of stuff. I think that whether it's old Chanel or new Chanel, they all look the same because they're all so classic.
Yeah.
So that's really great. But when I'm always like when I'm going after a bag, I don't get too trendy. I really always kind of stick with the classics. So, you know, if I'm gonna have like an endless budget, then Chanel's gonna be my go-to for a bag.
Yeah.
It's like you're never gonna find something as classic as that, I don't think. And then I love Claire V. I have a couple of her bags, and same thing. It's just like classic, non-branded, chic, like always chic.
That reminds me of Stod. I've been really into Stod. The shapes are just like totally unique and unlike anything else you'd see out there, and also designed by a stylist.
Oh, cool.
So love supporting that.
And then Givenchy is always a great one for me too. I mean, I find because
I sold mine. I'm so sad.
I find that because, it's so hard to actually have the finances and like the unlimited funds to be able to wear these beautiful designers on, their clothing is just ridiculously expensive. So it's a great way to be able to get that in your life and that style in your life. You can splurge on, the bag, the shoe. So I tend to have a lot of designer accessories and not as many designer clothes. It just doesn't make sense for me. It just, every now and then. But for the most part, my clothing is definitely like contemporary or lower price point. And my accessories, like my shoes and my bags, are all
good
designer.
pair of shoes makes a huge difference.
Yeah, you have them for years and years and years and years
and
years.
if you take care of them, even more.
Exactly.
Last. Yes, absolutely. So shoes, what are your go-to shoes?
I've been really into number 6 boots, like the clog furry boots that every mom in New York has. But they're so comfortable, and I just think they look so cool. And they're, I guess, part of my 70s aesthetic. So I've been really into that. And then I live all the time in 2 pairs of sneakers. My Vejas, which are awesome. They're sustainable. And they're really comfortable and timeless. They're just white and chic. And then my Golden Goose. And I just rotate. Basically, that's like my mom uniform. I'm wearing those 3 shoes.
This is awesome.
So Golden Goose is like my go-to for sneakers, just because like no matter what you're wearing, you look cool and they're comfortable.
They have a special insole. I love so I can be on my feet all day, and they're so comfy.
And I love that it gives you a little bit of a lift. Like there's nothing like a little bit of a heel that just like gives you a little extra posture and confidence. Exactly. Like even when we were shooting like beauty stuff, we would always put the model like in a little bit of a heel. She just holds herself a little differently.
I always ask the model, even if you don't see the feet, do you want heels?
Do you want a heel?
It gives you that little
extra something. So I love that the sneakers have that. I love Alexander Berman. Amazing heels. Tamara Mellon. I mean, it's just like I can't resist. It's so good.
I'm so impressed that you're wearing heels still.
I mean, not all the time, but I just adore them. Like I love them. It's funny because like now that I don't wear heels as much since I became a mom, my feet like they need to readjust or something.
I can't wear heels anymore.
And now like I'm not as good in them. It's kind of funny. And then Saint Laurent. I have a couple of great pairs of shoes. Saint Laurent.
I'm wearing Saint Laurent today. Yeah. These are just going to be in my closet forever.
Forever. Yeah, I agree.
That's so cool. One of these fun facts that I've come to know about both of you is that you can sew. And not all fashion people can sew. But I think it's like the coolest thing ever. Yeah. I mean, where did you learn how to sew? And like when?
We actually had home ec, like home and career.
I think it might have been in home ec.
I think that's where I originally learned.
And then 6th grade or something.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's something that I've always loved. And so I actually, because I loved I was determined to be an entrepreneur since I was like 2. I had a handbag line in high school.
I love that.
So weird.
Was it like bedazzled?
Actually, going back to sustainability, I guess I would take recycled fabrics and I would, especially jeans, like old pairs of jeans, and I would take vintage ties and I would make handbags out of it, and then I would sell them to people I know. And and then when I worked in fashion, I interned. They had all these scrap fabrics that they were going to throw away, and I was like, I'll take them. And then so I ended up sewing things out of them. And,
wow, that's so cool.
I don't have as an exciting of a story. I mean, basically, I think it might have been Mac or something. Just like self-taught from there.
Yeah. It's a really good skill to have. Okay, so now I want to ask you your best fashion hacks.
Okay.
There's so many.
There are so many. I feel like, and we take them for granted that like I don't even know that they're hacks anymore.
Yeah, you told me one that I did was a hack, and I'm like, oh, that's just something I do.
Totally. No, I completely agree. One of my hacks I got so many comments on was my coat buttons hack. So what I like to do either on like coats that I've had for a really long time, or if I buy just an inexpensive fast fashion coat, I replace the buttons. So in a perfect world, I would like have all these like, super chic vintage buttons that I just happen to have laying around, but that's not really the case. So I usually will go somewhere in the garment district and buy new buttons, and I switch out the buttons. So like sometimes it's just to kind of like revamp a coat that's been in my closet for a while, and sometimes it's to make a coat look more elevated because I bought it maybe at a fast fashion store, and a lot of the times you can tell where they cut the corners to make it so cheap because it's usually the hardware.
Yeah.
So to me, when you see hardware that's like high shine, even if it's not like the best of the best, that makes things look like more luxe to me.
Right.
And a lot of times you won't find that in fast fashion. And if you do, it's pretty rare.
Mm-hmm.
So you should just grab that piece because it's going to be good. So I usually like to buy like a high shine gold button or something like that. I mean, there's so many options out there. Buttons. I also was thinking like you can buy anything on Etsy or eBay. So if you wanted to buy like vintage buttons, you could. And then I just switch them out. And my secret is that I use, even when I'm not switching out buttons, just if like a button falls off, I use dental floss as my
as your thread.
As my thread. It's so strong, it doesn't break. And so my buttons never come off. And honestly, like I can't even take credit for it. My mom just told me that one time, was like, use dental floss. And I was like, okay.
Smart mom.
Like,
I've never heard that before. That's
and it's clear.
And
you
it's
don't
clear.
get to
Like,
see it.
like, you don't see it. Or even if you do, like, do you really care if someone sees like your white dental? Like, it doesn't matter.
Nobody's gonna assume it's floss.
No.
Yeah, no one's gonna
exactly.
think it's
It looks
floss.
like thread, yeah.
And you like smell a little minty for a while. It's fine.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it totally could be worse.
Yeah.
But they don't fall off. Like it's really tight and strong. So yeah, that's my hack. I'm sure I have a million other ones. Once you start talking, I'll like 5 others.
Well, I can't believe you thought that was a hack when you had a hole in your pants and I took out a piece of fashion tape, or we call it top stick in the industry. I took it out and you were like, oh, there's your hack. There's your fashion hack. And I'm like, oh, that's just what I do as a stylist. But I take it for granted. I always have fashion tape on me because you never know, like, whenever you're in the moment.
Wait, so what did you do?
I have a hole right now. I have a wardrobe malfunction during this episode. And I was like, look at this, just happened today.
Right.
She pulled out some fashion tape and was like, just tape it together and I'll sew it later. But
yeah, but to get you home at least.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So, but that's not something I actually have a whole highlight section on my Instagram if you want to see all fashion hacks that I do, and I keep adding more.
Because I probably have so many hacks I don't even realize.
On a shoot. Like I was on a shoot one time and somebody had their bracelet stuck. And so I have one of my hacks is that if you put a plastic bag through your arm through the bracelet and then pull off the bag, it'll slip the bracelet right off.
Oh wow. Without having to like
look at my
coconut
Instagram,
oil and
you don't have to lather up your skin. You just put the plastic bag through and then it pulls right off. And so I was like, quick, I told my assistant to get my iPhone. I was like, let's film this. This is a great idea.
Yeah.
But like, it's things that like I do all the time on set and I forget. Like I always have a black Sharpie on hand because like if a shoe gets scuffed or if like there's like a little tear or something in the shirt, I'll like touch it up with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
And so you can even do that at home if like you don't, in between going to the shoemaker to like fix up your shoes.
Right.
Just put a little Sharpie on it. It's fine.
Yeah. Great advice.
Yeah. If you're running, like, you don't have a lid roller, I like to use the velvet hangers. Sometimes they'll pull it right off of
speaking
your
of hangers, I hate wire hangers, but if you have static,
wire hanger.
Use a wire hanger. You don't need static guard.
You don't need static guard. Yeah, you just take a wire hanger and you just like
you
put it all over yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes the static out.
So if you actually sign up on my mailing list, you can see all my little like tools and tricks, and it'll send it to you.
Okay, perfect.
That's so
yeah,
cool.
we'll include your website in the show notes, and then at the end I'll say them. That's awesome.
I'm signing up for your
Yeah.
You should actually trace them.
Yeah, I know. Add to the list.
Smell a collaboration.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness, this is so funny.
When if I have like some broken jewelry, sometimes like a clasp breaks or something like that, I always use a safety pin to like clasp them together. And same thing if you're like layering different necklaces and you don't want them to get tangled, I use a safety pin in the back to like layer all of them on. And then it prevents them from like twisting.
I also use safety pins on my shoots. Like if a necklace you wanted a different length, you can use a safety pin or a couple safety pins to change the length.
Which not a lot of things that we pin pretty much everything on set. It's not a majority of it.
Don't look at us from the back.
It's all smoke and mirrors. Like even
it's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah. But that is a hack that you could do and like in real life because you can tuck it into the back of your top or your jacket or something
I did
like
that on our segment actually. On our segment, one of the skirts, I wanted it a little bit more high waisted and I pinned it and I was like, nobody will see it.
Yeah,
and I don't think anybody noticed.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Do you guys just like steam everything? Yeah. I feel like that your go-to thing is like steaming and not ironing.
Yeah, everybody should have a steamer. steamer. The go-to in the industry is Jiffy.
Mm-hmm.
There is a more like user-friendly one. Like we have the industrial ones that we use on shoots.
Yeah.
They have a little travel steamer that works just as well. It's called the Jiffy Esteem.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Esteem,
I have it.
S-T-E, yeah, you know, Esteam.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the most powerful thing, and it's so easy. And like, you don't need to have any skill to use it. You just open it, put the water in, and
plug it in,
go.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
And like, there's no excuse to have wrinkled clothes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Absolutely.
Agreed. I heard a hack that I can't really say because I can't really stand by because I don't do red carpet, so I don't know, but I should try it just in life. I heard that a lot of red carpet stylists now are using CBD oil on the bottoms of the celebrities' feet for like heels. Like apparently it's good
actually, you know what's
for like
even better if you
For the friction,
CBD is so controversial. What I use actually on my shoots, and you could probably also use in red carpet. If you have like a gel deodorant, you just rub that wherever it rubs, like the friction, and you don't get blisters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know. I really can't.
The next time I'm at a red carpet.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go red carpet.
Yeah.
I can't speak for that one necessarily.
Also, there's a brand called Forme, and I actually use it today because my feet are growing as being pregnant. There's a brand called Forme, and it actually is a shoe expander to stretch your shoes.
Oh,
and
wow.
it really works. Like I had like a model the other day who was a size bigger than the shoes that we had, stretched it overnight, and it was fine. And like that's a great one for red carpet and for life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
Okay, what are you guys working on right now?
Well, I know what you're working on.
Yeah, I'm currently working on a segment for Today's Show. Oh, and the black bib, of course. I mean, that's like my current hustle all the time. I kind of forget about it because it's so part of my life. But the black bib, my black leather baby line, baby bib line that I designed when I had Isla, and was just like wanted something cool like my black leather jacket, and was like, let's do a black leather bib. So I'm working on that all the time, and that's exciting. We just got picked up by Jet Black, which I feel like is like a really, it's a good partner for us. It just feels like the aesthetic is all in line. That's what takes up most of my time, to be honest.
So I'm still working on styling shoots, and I'm about to enter my third trimester of pregnancy. So I think I'm focusing on my blog, thenewyorkstylist.com, and I'm trying to focus on just the next steps on all that and growing my personal styling business, because that is something that I just love doing, and it's something that I don't have to be on my feet 10 hours a day. So, the more pregnant I'm getting, I think I'm trying to find that balance of working and not being on my feet all day.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I remember when I was pregnant and towards the end, like shooting and being on set all day long. And you're standing, and it's like I would just come home and crash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I can't do that now with a toddler.
Yeah.
So I actually worked when I was pregnant the first time. I worked up until 38 weeks, and I just did it. I just hustled. People were like, "How are you still standing?" And now I'm like, "Oh, I can't go to sleep when I go home. Like it's like I'm on my second job."
Right. Exactly.
Oh, totally.
So I think I'm just trying to find other ways to make my business work.
Yeah.
What was something that your kids or your son did that just surprised you recently?
My son, I asked him who his best friend was, and he said, "You, Mama."
Aww,
so cute.
that's the
and I was
best.
like, "No, I meant like your friend." And he said, "Mama."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I was like,
what do you mean?
so I don't know.
That's
like
so
having a mom's
sweet.
voice.
Yeah, same. My older son has said that about me too. Sometimes he'll say his twin, but sometimes he'll say mama.
That's
and I'm
so
like,
cute.
Win. Yeah.
Isla just had we had parents week last week at dance. And I mean, I never know how she's going to be. Like, she loves to dance, and she dances all day long, like in the apartment. But I never know like how it's going to be. And when I see her in class, and I also I've gotten a couple of things from the teacher being like, "Oh, she has trouble focusing." So I'm like, who even knows what this is going to be when I go? And she was so good. Like, I was, like, so surprised. Like, I mean, I knew she would be, like, having fun, but she's, like, actually good and then, like, followed the directions and, like, totally followed the structure of the class because it's, like, a proper ballet class.
Yeah, yeah.
And was doing, like, center floor and, like, followed the instructions. And then, like, they go down the floor one at a time and, like, do what they're told. And, like, she did it by herself, like, down the center of the floor. Like, this whole ballet.
Such a proud
I was
mom.
Yes.
gosh,
How old is she?
She's 3.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
That
this
takes
is
a level
really
of maturity for
impressive.
sure. Okay, so the reason why the podcast is called That's Total Mom Sense is because I feel like we have a built-in sixth sense. It's our mom sense, and we should always trust it and never really second guess it. So, is there a moment in time that you just trusted that mom sense and you were like, you know what? I have a good feeling about this. We're going to do it this way.
For me, it was like my biggest stress after having a baby was like, what am I going to do about childcare? And it was something that was like such a burden.
Mhm.
And I was in tears over, and it was like, what am I going to do? And then I had this aha moment because I'm a freelancer. I can't do the typical, like, have a nanny 9 to 5 and that's it.
Yeah.
So I saw a posting on Facebook and like our local mom group saying, hey, I'm a new mom and I really, like, I've loved nannying in the past. I want to do like a nanny share type of thing where I'm the nanny, I bring my daughter and I can nanny for somebody. Where can I post about that? And I said, wait, don't post.
Yeah.
I said, that's exactly what I need.
Yeah.
And so I met with her. We met once. Like, they were babies. Like, I'm like, oh, they hit it off, I guess, because they're babies. And then I just had this instinct that, like, yeah, she's trusting, she's great,
Yeah.
and she'll be good with him. And it was the best decision I ever made. Like, she was with us for a year and a half until he went to daycare. And it was like, I really think that she, in some ways, I feel like she was like a better parent than I was. Like, I learned so much from her, and it was like, I can trust her, and it was a really great experience as far as childcare. And I was like, I had this like instinct, and people were like, wait, did you get her background? Did you get her license? And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even like do a background check or anything. I didn't call anybody.
Mhm.
I just was like, nope, I have a good intuition about this. And
Yeah.
so there's something to be said about like your intuition. And when you know that something's not going right, that you really, can react to it. And there's a reason.
Right. Absolutely.
So I can't really think of an instance that, like, oh yeah, that was like good that I followed my gut. But I do know, like, the opposite when I didn't follow my gut and it totally fell apart. And it was literally the one time that I never, like, that I didn't trust my instinct on it. And it was that when I was potty training Isla, and it was a year ago, and I totally was like, that's it, she's potty trained. I was very, very pregnant. It was this time of year. He was due in April. And I was like, you need to be potty trained. We're getting this over with. It's the winter time. We're stuck inside. This is what we're doing. And I had this like whole plan. Like, I read the book and I read all the things. I was like, this is what everyone tells me to do. And up until that point, I had never read one book on parenting. I had never taken anyone's advice on like what I need to do as far as like, this is what you should do for this outcome. Like, I just never had. I always just followed what I felt was right and followed my instinct. And this time I didn't do that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to read this book and this is the plan. And it backfired so badly. And she wasn't ready. And I kept pushing her, which kept making it worse. I had a meltdown. She had a meltdown. We hated each other. It was just like a whole nightmare. And here we are a year later. She's still not potty trained. And I mean, I'm totally fine with it. I'm like, because I had such a meltdown that
Well, it's also hard when there's
you
a
can go
new
to college
baby
in
on the way.
diapers. Yeah.
So funny.
I was like, I don't care. Your roommate in college can potty train you.
Yeah.
I was like, I actually don't care. And I kind of still feel that way. Like, I'm kind of just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is when, she's going to do it, or if the reason she's not doing it is because I pushed her so hard.
Right.
Not that I like beat myself up about it,
Yeah.
but I do think that there's definitely something to be said of like, I was like, no, we have to do this. And this is what I read in the book.
Yeah.
And
We had
after
actually a very similar
3 days,
experience.
you're supposed to be potty trained.
Right, you hear all these stories about
Yeah,
like, oh, it only takes
Yeah.
3 days. So we had a similar experience where my son like resisted.
Yeah.
He did really well, and then all of a sudden he like resisted, and I think it was like the pushing and everything.
Yeah.
And then my husband who has never opened a parenting book in his life, he opened the chapter for 3-year-olds, even though he was 2, and it was like the one chapter in the Oh Crap book that I didn't read because my son wasn't 3, and I was like, why do I need to read this? He's like, our son is at the level of a 3-year-old. So that's why we need to follow this section.
Yeah.
And it changed everything. And like my husband has that maternal instinct, I guess.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he
they have it too.
and so that really made it a lot easier for us, and maybe that'll help you.
Mm-hmm.
If only books could like really teach us everything in parenting. I mean, if there's one thing I learned in being a mom, it's that like nothing is exactly by the book. Like your kid is your kid, and you got to do what's right for your kid. Yeah,
it was a good lesson for me to learn of like that I can't just go with something because I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. It's really great advice.
Let's not forget our quote of the day.
Is there a quote that you live by?
So for me, it's totally cliche, but the quote of, if you choose a job you love, then you'll never work a day in your life.
Mm.
And it's really true. It's like I was working in advertising and I was miserable every day. I was stressed out. They took over my life. Like I couldn't, and I'm glad it's a valuable experience, but like I couldn't even go to acupuncture because I was at the mercy of my agency and they wouldn't let me go. And I needed the acupuncture for my sanity and for my stress because I was making myself sick. And that was kind of eye-opening for me when I actually, the other eye-opening thing was that I lost a mentor to brain cancer in the advertising world. And it was like, wait a second, why am I working for somebody else and like stressing myself out to the point where I'm getting sick when I could do something I love, make my own schedule and do it for me.
Right.
And so that was actually the aha moment that I like quit it all. I could have had like a really cushy job. And now like right after that, I was like, okay, I'm going to go start from square one. I assisted for free to start. And I was like, I'm just going to try this out and give it some time. And like I barely made money to start. And that's actually why I started my jewelry business. Cause I was like, I got to make a little side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And I never looked back. And it's like, yeah, I love what I do. And if I don't love what I'm doing, I don't have to do it anymore.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest life lesson for me.
Mm.
There's a couple that pop into my head, but I guess like the one that always comes back to me is it's cool to be nice.
Mm.
You know, it's just like I think that everyone's going to remember you if you were lovely to work with and that you were nice to them and that you made them feel however you made them feel. People are going to remember that, whether it's, you know, the people that you're on set with, whether it's people that you're, you know, showing up for their press preview and they remember that and they remember that support. And for me, you know, I went out freelance and I never got an agent. I still to this day don't have an agent. And I have always relied on my relationships for people to kind of pass my name around and get me job to job and recommend me. And I don't think that I would have that luxury if I didn't work on those relationships, if I wasn't nice. And believe me, we're in an industry that people are not nice. It's getting cooler to be nice, you know, and I think it's getting better. But we come from an industry where it was like all about the editrix. And it was like cool to be mean to everyone.
I mean, you probably saw it a lot in magazines,
Yeah.
but like I didn't come from the magazine world, but even as an assistant on photo shoots, I was persona non grata, and like nobody gave me the time of day. Photographers would like kind of like roll their eyes at me like, who are you? And like now I'm I'm the person that could hire that person and like suggest that person. And so you never know who you meet on set. And it's so true. That's such a great quote to live by because the assistant might be the person that you might end up working with down the road or hiring. And
And the thing is that like at the end of the day, it's like you're all in it together. You're all in it to make the project best it can possibly be. And people are going to remember you and want to work with you if they're like, wow, like she's so nice. She's the greatest person. And, you know, my boss, our fashion director at the magazine, and she was my mentor. I don't even know if she knows that she was my mentor, but she pretty much taught me everything. And she, I mean, I would go to press previews. I would go to different events and people would be like, oh gosh, how's Sheena? Oh, I just love her. She is so nice. And I remember saying like, my God, I hope someday that when I'm going around to like all different places or someone else might be like hearing my name from people and like that they say those like wonderful things about me that people say about her. Because like there was not one person that ever said a bad thing. And they weren't like
being
blowing
fake
smoke
about
and
it.
being fake. They were just like, how is she? Oh my gosh, I love her. And then like we go on this tangent about how much they loved her. And it wasn't not true because everyone adored her. And
you're so lucky to have a mentor like that because you don't always get that lucky.
Yeah.
I actually had a mentor when I was assisting, and the best advice I got from her was never talk badly about anybody that you're working with, because she
That's
said,
going to bite you in the ass later, for sure.
And she said it's okay once you're done with the job, but just while you're on the job, never talk badly about them, because it puts a bad mood and a bad feeling on everybody around you, and then everybody starts talking about that person, and then it starts getting around, and you don't want to be that person.
Yeah, and she
always just had such an amazing reputation, and she used, she would say to all of us, she ran our team, and we're the nice girls, and nice, and it's just, and I think that we were a team that people really remembered us for being nice and easy to work with, and cool girls, and
which is so rare to hear in magazines.
Yeah, and fashion.
Fashion. And it was just, I didn't ever want to lose that. I mean, obviously it was instilled in me, but it's just something that I really try to live by now, is I'm, at the end of the day, we're talking about clothing, at the end of the day, we're also talking about something that's supposed to make people feel good, not isolated or not left out of the circle. And we want to tell you how to feel great. I don't want to tell you oh, you look like crap, and I can't help you here because you're not as cool as me, or I don't know, but it's just, it's not about that. It's about being hey, come along, let me show you. You don't know, let me show you, and just sharing. And because it is cool to be nice, you want to be nice. You want to be with nice people. Yeah, you want them to be nice to you.
Exactly. Ooh, I love it. I love how we're going against the grain and basically clearing up any misconception that is fashion.
It's now time for Mom Haul, when we share products we love.
So this is the Mom Haul segment, and so we just kind of share a product that we're loving right now. I don't know if you guys are product junkies, but
I am.
It's
I think
it could
part
be
of
anything.
being a blogger, we get sent so much stuff, and we get to try so many good things. So I think right now, actually, I'm really loving, because I'm pregnant and I'm desperate for anything to make me feel better. I discovered that Hatch has a product called Down Girl, and you put it on your legs and feet after a long day, and it is like heaven. There's a cooling something in it. It's all natural. I mean, maybe you want to use it even if you're not pregnant, but it's the best feeling, because I'm on my feet all day long on my jobs, and they're swollen and awful, and nobody gives me a seat on the subway. So I put that on when I get home, and oh my God, it's a little slice of heaven when I get home.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That's amazing. So it's a couple ones that I really love right now. One is, I just met them last week, and I'm kind of obsessed with them, but still trying it out, so I can't fully say it yet. But it's called Bambina Futura. I don't say it well, but anyway, it's an Italian company, and it's for all holistic, organic, natural ingredients, basically for earaches, coughs, itchy eye, allergies. There's one that's called Boo Boo Be Gone for little cuts and scrapes, but it's all organic, and it's all made on this Italian huge ginormous piece of land, and they own this farm, but it's massive, and their ingredients are just so potent that they were able to make these really wonderful products. So there's one that's sleepy time something, or other. It's lavender something, and you just it's a little roller ball. It looks like a little fragrance. You just kind of rub it on that behind their ears and their neck. It smells so delicious. I was dousing my husband in it because he never sleeps. Here, try this. I put it on all the kids too. So I'm really into that product right now. I'm just playing with it, because I don't really know too much about it yet, but I've been playing around with it, and the packaging's gorgeous, so it just looks pretty in my cabinet. And then I love the Fairy Tales lice conditioner spray for Isla, because I'm so freaked out about lice. So I spray that in her hair right now, because I'm so freaked out about lice, and it smells wonderful. I thought it was going to smell weird. I didn't know what it was going to be, but it smells like fresh rosemary. It's such an odd scent for a hair care, but actually is awesome. And she loves the smell of it too. So we've been using that. And then my one for myself, I'm going to pre-warn you. It's you're going to roll your eyes, but it's fine. I was so not on this train because I knew nothing about it. But then I got gifted the La Mer cream, the one that everyone uses. And I was and now I'm addicted. And now I'm kind of okay, well, maybe I could justify spending the money. I don't know. I mean, I haven't moved past my one gifted jar yet, but it is crack in a jar. Really? It is so good. And I said, I'm not a product junkie.
People either love it or hate it.
Yeah, it is so good. And I'm no wonder people are are obsessed with it. I totally get it now. And I don't really use like that much because it's so thick and so you don't have to use that much. So I think if it's like a product that you really love and it's great for you, then like it's worth the investment because it lasts long. I didn't want to love it. I did not want to fall into that hole, and I fell hard. It's really good.
That's so funny. My mom haul item is, well, I have two, is from Captain Blankenship.
Love that.
Yeah,
Their sea salt spray is amazing.
They have it's like a whole line of hair care
And
and,
it's
skincare,
mom-owned.
and it's mom-owned. She's a Hey Mama as well. Yana Blankenship is her name. So she has this cream deodorant, which it's great. I feel like, I made this shift when I got pregnant to do anything all natural, and it's like always like, what can I find that's all natural? And I've used Tom's before, and then there's this other one, Urban Cowboy, and it's like spelled herb, H-E-R-B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny story about Tom's. I went running with my husband wearing Tom's, and he's like, "You're foaming at the armpits."
No way.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
I use it actually. My mom hack. I use it on not
On
that
the
same
shoes?
one, but on my shoots. I'll use Tom's to use for blisters.
Oh, okay.
Or
Okay.
prevent
Yeah.
blisters.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just, there's not really many good all natural,
No. I gotta try this.
yeah. And I love that it comes in a glass jar, fully sustainable. So all her products are in glass. It's like a really minty, fresh paste. And you just feel fresh. And then the other thing that she has is a dry shampoo, in powder form. And I love that too. It's in a paper packaging powder. And so it's not like a can or aerosol. So fully recyclable. And then I like that it's just back to the basics. It's like, why does it have to be a spray? And it works really, really well. And it smells amazing too. It's like a mermaid dry shampoo that she has.
That reminds me, so it's not just one product, but I have to share that, like, I discovered that brand through Folane.com,
Okay.
which is like my go-to source for non-toxic beauty.
Nice.
And when I became pregnant for the first time, I was like, this is everything I need. And so I discover new brands. They recommend things for you. If you don't like it, you can return it.
Oh, good.
Which is so cool.
Yeah,
so
it's
I
like a
broke
trial.
out from like something that they recommended, and they were like, no problem, send it back, got me something new. So I'm totally into all the brands from there. And so that's actually one of my other mom hauls, I guess.
Yeah, awesome. We love hearing about the sites and all the brands that you mentioned. There were so many that I haven't heard of, and now I'm like, I'm going to go look them up, which is great. Where can my listeners find you?
So you can find me, this is Liz, you can find me at thenewyorkstylist.com and on Instagram at thenewyorkstylist.
This is Jasmine, and you can find me at theblackbib.com, which is my blog, which I don't know if we really talked about that much, but you can find me there. And then you can find me at Jazz Snow on Instagram, or on the Today Show on TV.
Yeah, there you go. This was so fun. I mean, I love that, we are the nice girls, and we just had such an enlightening and fun chat about fashion in your lives and motherhood and all the things. And I hope it was as fun for the listeners as it was being here live. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, that episode was such a blast. I wish you could have been there in person. We were just having so much fun talking about all things fashion, motherhood, and really just everything under the sun. But I feel that Jazz and Liz gave some really great pointers on designers we should be aware of and can kind of experiment with, and hacks that can come in handy for ourselves and our kids. I want to end this episode with a review from another fashion icon, really. I've had her on my show. She's a mentor of mine. Her name is Mary Lou Luther. She's the creative director of Fashion Group International, editor of the International Fashion Syndicate, a CFDA award winner, and a syndicated clotheslines columnist, and, respected fashion icon to industry leaders like the late Karl Lagerfeld, Thierry Mugler, Betsy Johnson, Norma Kamali, Ralph Rucci. Marc Jacobs, Zach Posen, Prabal Gurung, Proenza Schooler, the list goes on. She is very, very respected, and I'm very fortunate to call her a dear friend. She said to me after our recording how she just was really floored by how I was able to kind of bring out her life story through conversation. And it just happened in such an organic way. And so here's her review. You're a mother. You've read all the childcare advice you can find. Your 9-year-old son just confessed to stealing candy at the supermarket. Rather than punishing him by taking away his iPhone, you take him back to the supermarket, watch him admit his stealth to the manager, and arrange to work off the payment behind the scenes. Such is the kind of story you'll experience in Kanika Chandagupta's podcast, That's Total Mom Sense. Instead of generic parenting advice, you get a play-by-play from the real world of moms. As the host, this mother of 3, twins plus 1 as she puts it, says her mission is to encourage moms to trust their intuitive superpower, their mom sense, when it comes to their kids. As she explains, with each phase of child rearing, we have a ton of questions and can't possibly read all the parenting books out there, but we can learn from other moms. Her other moms include Rebecca Minkoff, designer and sustainability expert, Reshma Sojani, the founder of Girls Who Code, Reagan Moya Jones, the founder of Aiden and Ane, and Mara Scavacampo, an ABC News correspondent and author. As one of her podcast guests, I can attest to Kanika's truly remarkable ability as a storyteller, a gift she has nurtured as her role as a TV anchor and producer for CNN International, and as the founder and CEO of Chronology Agency, a digital marketing and branding firm. If there were a podcast Hall of Fame awards, I would give Kanika first prize. Oh, I'm so touched. Thank you so much. I know it was a long review, but I wanted to read it verbatim, word for word, because I'm thankful to have such distinguished guests on my show, and I'm glad that they leave with those kind of sentiments. I mean, that's the real deal for me and why I'm in this. Thanks again for listening, and as always, follow me on Instagram at KanikaXOXO and write to me at thatstotalmomsense@gmail.com. And remember, as always, stay strong, Supermamas. Bye.
That's total mom sense.